Blessings on your evening, my love, and this is my offering to the divine, Mercury Retrograde extravaganza that is upon us on this day. There is an energy consistently moving through us all. Recognize the heart beats, the lungs breathe, food digests, urine is produced. Autonomic functioning of the human body is a miraculous consciousness to come into. Will you allow for yourself to examine yourself as a human being on this day and every day moving forward? Mercury is one of our greatest soul guides as human beings on a planet called Earth. One of our greatest spirit guides, energy guides, and full on soul-packed starseed connector. We are bonded as one. There is no separation from us and Mercury. We are each other. It is a reflection. Everything in our life is a reflection and a guide and a pathway and a gateway and an initiation into the soul truth of who you believe you really are. So Mercury in astrology, just like every planet and every luminary and every zodiac sign, represents a specific pattern, universal pattern of the mind within the human. For the majority of the human experience is mental by nature. So much of your human experience is the way that you process your existence through the mind. And are you willing to get to know yourself and your mind a little bit better so that you may heal your historical wounded connection to the way that you think? And the way that you think creates the way that you feel. And the way that you feel keeps you in this deep, dark self-loathing and self-destruction and self-abandonment. And we are always being called to awaken further and further into this body, further and further into this being. Will you allow for Mercury to teach you lessons to help you continue to awaken? When I first started exploring Mercury retrograde energy, this was many years ago. I'm going to say maybe around 2013, 2014 is when I became really very interested in astrology and very interested in learning more about what each planet represented. What does this really mean to me? I don't use astrology in sort of these traditional senses that so many other people do. That is such an amazing way to use astrology. For me, I am always using astrology as an opportunity to hold space for myself in the multi-dimensions of being a human. And so knowing now that the planets and the luminaries and the zodiac represent archetypical patterns of human consciousness. What is an archetype? What is a pattern? You have to start looking deeper into your own idea of what you believe life to be. I am a Sagittarius sun by nature, born December 16th, 1983, and I am a naturally curious human being by nature. If you know Sagittarius in your life, Sagittarius dominant humans, we have this pervasive pattern of curiosity and I wonder what that means, the cosmic seeker archetype that lives within us all. So you don't need to have Sagittarius in your birth chart to access and assimilate and activate this energy within thee, just like you don't need to have Cancer or Gemini or Leo or Libra. We are all possibilities within this human landscape. Your birth chart represents a specific snapshot, a blueprint of the moment when you were born. Either you were born from the womb or ripped from the womb, depending on what time and what year you were born in this human world. But at the moment that you left the womb and entered Earth's side, your birth chart is a snapshot of that exact moment. And so imagine you were laying on your back looking up at the sky, the birth chart gives you an idea of what zodiac sign, if you're following tropical Western astrology, what zodiac sign each planet and luminary was in the moment you were born. And so you are not just one sign, and this is such an incredible revelation of humanity. It's definitely a huge part of what broke me out of an extreme lifelong, deep pattern of self-harm and self-loathing and depression, learning about my astrological personality like blew my fucking mind and changed my fucking life, because I really believed myself to be Sag. Because I always, we at least know when someone asks you what your sign is, your star sign, you say the one thing, because at least at some point you looked it up or someone told you what you were. But that's just your sun sign, meaning the sun was in the sign of Sagittarius the day that I was born. But the moon was in Taurus. My rising sign is Capricorn, the trinity of incredible dominant energy within every human being. But my Mercury sign is Capricorn. And when I learned that my rising sign is Capricorn and my Mercury sign is Capricorn, and I don't really know that much about Capricorn, I want to learn about Capricorn. This is the way that my mind works. So I'm going to go learn more about Capricorn. I'm going to find a bunch of astrologers that I resonate with, because not every teacher you're going to resonate with. And I'm sure there's people that have followed me that stopped following me because my teachings changed, or my attitude changed, or my ideas changed, and I didn't resonate with them anymore. And that's okay. There are some people that I have followed consistently through my entire awakening since late 2011, 2012, when I started finding the most incredible guides and teachers on my journey. And there's still a collection of them that I continue to follow, and their consistency and their willingness to continue to show up and share the journey and to not give up, like the faith keeper consciousness. And so Mercury is our representation of our consciousness of the mind, the way that you think and process thought and feeling through the mind, the way we communicate, the style of communication. There are so many incredible phenomenons that come through the Mercury retrograde transits that happen 3 to 4 times every year, because Mercury travels around the sun the fastest out of all of the planets in our solar system. And so we are constantly in the energetic vortex of Mercury's dance, and Mercury represents so much to our human landscape, but that's also for you to explore on your own. I didn't come here to tell you what your life means. I came here to share knowledge and wisdom in little chunks and little doorways and pathways for you to explore yourself, to you to awaken the consciousness within yourself, that I'm gonna fucking wake up beyond the self-loathing, and I'm not gonna hurt myself anymore, and I'm not gonna starve myself anymore, and I'm not gonna drink my life away, and I'm not gonna fuck people I don't know anymore. I'm gonna give all of this energy, this addictive, ceremonial, ritualistic self-betrayal and self-abandonment and self-harm. I'm going to use all of that energy. The power of Mercury in Cancer awaken within all humans now. May the power of Mercury in the sign of Cancer awaken your heart, awaken the heart-centered aspect of your humanity. And remember where the fuck you came from. Before you were a single-celled organism inside the nut sack and inside of the ovary of the humans that created you, you are an ancient soul from beyond this density and this human experience. You are infinite wisdom encapsulated within this human beingness. Imagine the seed consciousness. Imagine the seed, and the tiny seed. You wouldn't look at the seed and imagine the oak tree, or imagine the rose bush, or imagine the growth process over time. Allow for yourself to consider yourself as a star seed. We're all star seeds within, even the most fucking maniacal psychopathic people that exist on this planet and also rule this planet and also control the mind of this planet. They are star seeds too. And they are part of the universal dance of all. And we are on the greatest epoch of human history, the greatest awakening that human consciousness has ever known. Awaken now. Remember and hear my voice. All eyes to see, may they see at this time. And may all ears to hear, may they hear it all. And may all hearts open to the pain of the Cancer consciousness that is on this fucking planet at this time. Consider what the idea of Cancer really truly means to you. For we are on the precipice of our Gemini into Cancer season. The moon just entered Gemini, returning back to the same place that we seeded this lunar cycle in 1 month ago. And do you see how the dance of the sun and the moon truly illuminates the human within us? the pain within us, the trauma within us, the fucking potential to grow beyond the legacies of our pain within us. The archetype of Cancer, the sign that Mercury just moved into and is retrograde in for the next 3.5 weeks, but the sign that the sun is also about to enter at the solstice activation in a few days. The solar eclipse flare on the new moon in Cancer, or the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, will open us to the greatest, deepest, darkest wounds of our mother and our father within our soul, and how we have carried around these patterns of self-loathing because no one taught us how to nourish and nurture ourselves. Because we are all have been brought into a density and a land of overlord, patriarchal, ancient colonial rule, awakening to the way that human beings have been destroyed and lied to and knowledge squandered. It is all being exposed. It is all being revealed. And Mercury loves this energy. Mercury loves to play the trickster of the mind, to make you think. Are you willing to really learn to think for yourself? And this is the power of Mercury, to be your guide and not something to fear, or not something to think that is doing something to you. The mishaps that happen during Mercury retrograde that are within the archetypical pattern, you can look up the hashtag Mercury retrograde and read along and see all the different things that are continuous with Mercury. I don't need to go into it because that's not my intention. When these patterns start to happen to you, it's not meant to hurt you. It's meant to wake you up. And you're like, holy shit, like this is a phenomenon. Like I'm part of a dance. I'm part of a dance. And this horror and this pain and this destruction and this anger and this fucking unrelenting rage that is bubbling up within all humans now. What do you do with the rage of the subjugation of the feminine aspect of humanity? What do you do with the she rage of humanity? What do you do when one aspect of our humanity has been snuffed out, stuffed down, burned out, burned alive, dumped in pits, just trying to just destroy all that is sacred, but you cannot destroy nature, and we are returning. And this is the aspect of divine feminine consciousness that belongs to us all through the sign of Cancer. And Cancer represents the inner mother and the inner child within all humans, and our desire to learn how to nourish and nurture the pain and the wounding that lives within us. In medical astrology, Cancer rules the breasts. And what is your relationship to breasts? And what is your relationship to nourishment and breast milk, and actually touching breasts in a nourishing and nurturing way and not abusing it as sexual objects? There is so much destruction of misogyny in human consciousness. There is so much destruction of self-nurturing consciousness. We are not diseased. We are not a diagnosis. We are a byproduct of multi-generational mental illness and self-abandonment and deep grief because we do not know the stories, because no one told us the story and no one asked us to tell our stories. And so we are awakening the story within this body. And may Cancer and the power of Mercury alchemize within your human being over the next 3.5 weeks. And when the sun and the moon meet in the same degree of the sign of Cancer to awaken thee, may you take some time out of your human life to truly consider what it is that you're doing here. And if you are in the darkest depths of your own self-loathing and suicidal desire and your own self-harm, this is your wake-up call. This is your wake-up call. This is the wake-up call I had to have for my own self. No one was going to do it for me because I was almost going to leave this earth. But something inside of my mind said, don't you want to learn to love yourself before you fucking die? Come on. Come on. You're just so good at hurting yourself. Don't you want to learn to love yourself? And that is what astrology helped me learn. Beyond this, like, tell me what my life means. Can you do a reading for me? I have a gift that I know can help us all. I have curated a beautiful personal astrology research guide that I offer by donation to help my family. If you click the link in my bio, we can explore together. Visit my website at boundariesarebeautiful.com, and may we awaken Mercury and Cancer within us all. I love you.